Awesome. So we're here with Matt, Porter PhysEd. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, man.
Appreciate you coming over and
definitely
I want to tell my story a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to hear the background, how you got started, where you are now. I think I got from the guy over at your booth. Maybe it was you that told me you're kind of integrating with Fringe Sport.
Yep.
So that's, really cool for your company. Huge.
Yep.
Less hours on you.
Yeah, definitely.
So want to hear all of it.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of the way it started, I kind of assume I can until I prove I can't. So I got this bell. I got a Bell's tower, and I had an idea for it. And I was already doing DIY stuff and everything. And my brother had been working with a lot of metal, so he had a welder. I was like, hey, can I show me how to weld? I was like, can I borrow it? And I said, I'll have it for 2 weeks. And then 8 months later, I gave it back to him. And basically, by that time, I was practicing welding and everything. And took that skill and basically took a piece and basically welded it up, cut it up, and basically made a lap pull-down attachment that goes to the belt steel cable tower. And then shared it on social media. People started to will you make this? And I wanted a lap pull-down for this cheaper tower. It sounds great. And started to, just a couple people here and there, and then more people started to want it, and more. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I can. I talked to my buddies like, hey, you want to start a business? And kind of organically just popped up. And I deal with a lot of injuries in my hand and wrist, and I was trying to kind of figure out how to use different cables. Every time I started using stuff, it was hurting me. So I got mad and went into my doing ISO, like a push down. I wanted to do ISO handle push downs, and everything was frustrating me. I got mad, went in my shop, cut a piece of a round handle, cut it down, used my plasma cutter to cut out a little disc, button welded it on the bottom, came out, measured my hand, make sure it was the shortest lever possible, went into my garage, started using it, and I'm like, oh, I might be onto something. And then I got a lathe, kind of started working on that, ended up making a second prototype to kind of refine it a little bit more, and then put that out there, sold a few of them, and then that slowly blew up as well, and it kind of just, I'm trying to solve my problems, and as I'm solving them, just hopefully I can help a couple of people on the way as well. And then along the way, one thing that I do want to do, this is more for the show piece, but I do want to tell the stories. One of the things I kind of use is the business has become a little bit more of a distraction for me, but in sort of a good way. So a lot of people don't know, I've had a lot of traumatic things happen. So in the last 2 years, my brother and dad have both passed away from complications of diabetes. My brother, in 2 weeks, it'll be a year. And then my dad, it'll be a year, or it was a year a week and a half ago. So I am doing a charity raffle at the Home Gym Con. The goal is to raise $10,000. This is the last day. If people I don't know, you're going to post this later. But as of right now, it's still early on the last day. The goal is to raise $10,000. Right now, we're a little over $7,000.
Okay.
So it's going well. Hopefully, we can surpass that goal too. But in that time with that stuff happening, I just kind of dove into the business and just we use that as the kind of hyper fixate on those things and try to
sure
shield myself a little bit from the grief.
Yeah.
And then some other along that time, my wife lost both her dad and her mom during that time as well, and that's been the last 3 years. It's been my brother, my dad, both of her parents, and my dad was a close friend, and my uncle as well, all in the same 3-year time span. Wow. And it's just my mom also had a massive stroke, so her left side she's lost use of her left arm. But all this is just it gives me something to kind of focus on.
Yeah.
And not just focus on all the just
life
insane. It's just everything happening all at once. So.
Sure. Well, I appreciate you sharing that story. And I want to kind of dive into this integration with Fringe.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of how that came about. I guess if we go back to when you were first starting, would you say that it was like the home gym Discord and communities like that kind of helped bolster your sales or get the word out about your business?
Instagram, home gym Discord, in all these different little communities, just like talking back and forth with one another, and then just sharing and being a little more open with people. Like, I made this thing. Check it out.
Yeah.
If you want it, let me know. I can see if I can make that happen for people.
Sure.
And then the whole thing with Fringe that helped the reason that happened is because of Home Gym Con.
Okay.
So the bells, bells is also a big part of it too. So bells, whenever I got the bells tower, made the lap pull down, pretty early on in the process, Kayvon reached out to me, and then we kind of made a deal and everything. We've had some struggles to get their version of my products to market, but they ended up sponsoring me to go to Home Gym Con, the second Home Gym Con. Got to go down there, got to interact with people. That's when I actually got to meet Peter from Fringe, and then us just chatting and everything. Got to more feel companies just open to be like, I see the product, I'm like, I have an idea, it's an add-on for that product. He was like, yeah, you want a Mammoth? He just sent one Mammoth over to me, and then I ended up coming up with a product that integrates a handle into the Mammoth by just bolting on, and it's an upgradable piece. You can buy a single adjustable handle, just telescopes up and down, but then there's holes to the side of it, so you actually can basically go around a rotary dial. It's basically whatever angle that works best for you.
Sure.
But they're actually pulling that product into their catalog, and in the meantime, during the process of getting that over to them, I was developing some cable attachments, and they basically they saw kind of the interest in the community, and then they were noticing that my issue was it's just me and my buddy and my wife and his wife. We were all just trying to meet that demand, and we put it in sending stock. We have 500 to 1,000 units in stock, and then within a week, the entire stock would go away. And then we were scrambling, I'm trying to cut the leather, paint the leather, all that stuff, and get them in boxes, shipped them out. But seeing that, they saw the interest and everything. It's well, maybe we can work together, and they can do more of the mass production piece.
Yeah.
Allows me to focus on because right now with the Eclipse Grip it is just took so much time away from me making new stuff, and that's kind of what I want to do. I think that's kind of what I'm good at, kind of seeing how things work and being able to kind of view things a slightly different perspective than other people, and then hopefully in that way I can turn out new and innovative, and not even to say innovative, just more take something people like and then refine it and kind of tweak it and make it a little bit more versatile for people. But Fringe is right now, they're going to be taking over the Eclipse Grips. The ones at the show are actually going to be the last ones that will be US-made ones. I do have a few that are back home and not the house, so they'll have those, but it's not very many, maybe 20 possibly. But they're going to get that dialed in, and then they'll be launching. We don't have a specific date or anything just yet for that, so there'll be more information will be out there on it. But that's kind of how it just kind of organically just kind of happened.
That's amazing.
I mean, I'm a PG. That's what I do, but my day job. It's this kind of almost all by accident.
Yeah. Well, I would say too, to grow to the point that you literally can't keep up with demand is the best problem to have, right?
Yeah.
It's shit. I can't put any more time in this. You were telling me this prototype that you made specifically for this raffle took you 60 hours, is that right?
50 hours.
50
but
hours?
That's trial and error, but lots of screw-ups and scraps, steel over to the side.
Yeah.
But it's that one, it is a prototype, and it will remain a prototype. Whoever gets it, they'll enjoy it, and it's a one of one.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, to hear the story behind it, because I think if more people understood what goes into these individual pieces, they would appreciate it that much more and be willing to spend the money on it, right? Forgive me, I can't remember your buddy's name at the booth, but he told me that, and and he told me some of the prices of your handles, which I already thought was fair, but then to know the story behind it and what goes into it, I was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense
Yeah, like right now I'm kind of like the V wing. It's the way I'm gonna sell. It'll be small batch stuff. Like for me to make one of those, it's like 6 to 7 hours of labor. It's like all the edges are rounded over. It's all done by a grinder and a belt sander. And then because I want what I want it to look a certain way. In my hobby that I had a little bit before this, or kind of in the middle of like making this, I used to. It feels like I used to now because I don't have time to actually do it. I would hand forge knives, and then the way I would finish is with this beeswax, and they give the acid, ferrochloric acid. So I basically take a stainless steel bracket, get it all like rounded over, all the pieces the way I want it, round all the holes, make everything super smooth, and then I acid etch it in ferrochloric acid, which gives the stainless a darker, like a forced patina look. And then take it out, neutralize the acid, and then once you do that, heat it up with a propane torch because now it has those micropores. I apply beeswax on it, so it's like no one's doing this. Like,
yeah.
But the beeswax gives it like a gloss, almost matte look, and if you touch it, it feels like glass. It's one of those like I can say it all I want. You look at it, you're like, oh, I get it. Or the real thing is you actually start using it, feeling it, and you're like, oh, this is different.
So with that, I won't take up any more of your time, but this last question, I'm interested in that process. Do you relay that to Fringe then to be, obviously they have the machines and stuff, right? But like with the beeswax and stuff.
So certain like that, like that's going to be their look and everything. Like that's what something like that, it's not mass producible.
Okay.
So if they pull that product over to them, it's going to be more like it's all machined over and things like that.
Got it.
So, but because they have the machines, they have the milling process, they can actually like do everything like automated. It's going to be more of like a shiny look, and you're not going to get the darkened look like that. Just like that's like more of like a me being like hyper like specific of what I want.
Yeah.
But you'll still get the same actions and like use cases of
functionality
that,
out of it.
Yeah, functionality piece, but at a more hopefully a more affordable price, so people actually can kind of see it in the masses. But it won't be that same like insane process. And there's certain things like the amount of rounding over, like those machines can only do so much for the rounding. Now they can round and make it super smooth, but the amount of like material removed and removed in certain areas. So like I want it to be more removable where my thumbs are going to touch, and the other parts it'll be less removed. Where when they do it, it's going to be kind of a uniform removed material is removed, and they'll get the thing bent, and then you'll have those angles, everything. But it's slight changes, so you'll get the functionality, but maybe not the full experience.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Right on. Well, Matt, I really appreciate your time and like sharing your story. I know that wasn't easy for you, and really appreciate you just working your ass off because as hard as that work has been for you, and I can't even imagine like putting myself in your shoes with where you've gotten to. Super impressive. And obviously you are single-handedly solving issues for some of these, I would call it like small things in the industry, but the small things are what make the big things happen. So to put it another way, you're going to help a lot of people with their gains for a very long time. So
hopefully I can find some time to actually get myself a workout too.
Yeah, there you go. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great time at the rest of the show.